This was yesterday. No, this was earlier today. This was 2:56 in the morning, and I was brutally awake and very much unable to remember asking anyone to phone up and make me listen to their house. That's all I could hear. The sound of their furniture, perhaps a room with ornaments and carpet, the kind of space that wouldn't raise a din. Muffled, cozy. None of the messy background you would expect from a mobile or late-night office. This was the noise of a person standing, waiting in their home, and not moving, and not speaking. Not a word. And I imagined this person standing, sneaking their breath out, and maybe their free hand weighted at their side, hanging, or maybe both hands dropped, and the receiver pointless, like they can no longer think what they should do. I had no memory of reaching for the phone, which meant it must have happened as I was unconscious. I was aware that, like many people, I can perform complex actions without myself. This is handy. I believed I hadn't spoken, and I was positive that he, or she, hadn't either. There was only this concentrating silence that tunneled along the line, dragging a sense of my counterpart and their receiver, the curl of their fingers, a suggestion of their sweat. Late-night calling always does suggest some kind of sweat. Symptoms of personal emergency, pain, fear, removal of comforts and dignity, sex. Something in those areas. That was my guess. By this time, I should have hung up or shouted hello with increasing alarm, the way people do in horror movies when the killer cuts their connection. Instead, I smiled. I don't believe that smiles are audible, but as soon as I made one, the line snapped shut. I rolled over and dipped back into sleep, stretched my arm to catch at it, the ringing doze, the telephone ringing again.
Hello?
I'm sorry.
Go on, tell her. Go on, try it. As if, go on, you called her, you tell her. You just fucking tell her.
Yes. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Bastard!
I have to assume he is pondering what he should say. Clearly, he'd like to prove for the screaming woman that he doesn't know me, to seem incapable of sustaining an interaction as sophisticated as an affair. If I were him, I might reel off sorry for as long as I could, but then, would that mean I was sorry for getting caught, rather than for inconveniencing a stranger?
I didn't mean to call you. It was the wrong number when I called a few minutes ago.
Bastard, you think I believe? Fucking bastard!
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Yes, I know.
Do you?
Well,
Fucker!
I'm going to hang up now. Good night.
"10 minutes later, he made his third call. Or maybe it was the screaming woman this time, whoever she was, pressing redial and wanting to scream at me now. Getting by, that's my aim. Locating and holding on tight to whatever will bowl me along. I value fitness, sanity, and a pattern of healthy and restful nights. When I can't sleep, I watch call-in shows. They help. They also make it clear people all over the country are just as wakeful as I, paying to ring up television's friendly strangers and guess out mysterious things. What names might be included in a list of celebrity chefs, or what fatal disease fits in this 36-letter grid. Shopping, fortune-telling, they are happy to call in as long as there is someone talking back like a loud relation. Last night, I watched a woman with an honest face. She extrapolated karma and future events from birth dates and vocal auras.
I was wondering who the mother of my baby was.
All right, let's take a look. The Miss Cleo DNA test. Solely searching for the father of your baby. Oh, it's the one that's very unpleasant, okay?
There's nothing to do but to leave the house and take a walk, for health and fitness. And in the street that loops around my garden wall, it is even more clear the new year is rising, gathering strength. The air is moister, changed by the breath of the seething earth, which is enough to make you feel grubby and claustrophobic. But I'm canny enough to avoid that and rush to the shoreline. I choose the lane by the plowed field that is barely stirring yet. The town reaches me first, though. The sort of place riddled with associations and communities, where people hang baskets of flowers for competitions, who impose their aspirations onto others. This is a place where we are supposed to think well of ourselves and of our fellow humans. That is why every lamppost I pass has a picture taped to it. Someone has lost a dog. Someone imagines that I will help them look for it, give it back if I have stolen it, apologize if I had made it into gloves. On either side of the road, as far as I see, taped to each side of the road, they've set up pictures of their dog. This kind of thing is always immensely, unpardonably grim. Plaintive pictures of monochrome creatures that already look drowned or vivisected. But this one is worse than normal. This tangible panic set out on display and trying to trap me. Pin sharp color shots of a tubby-looking retriever looking up at the camera like it trusts me, like it trusts children, like it trusts everyone. Missing. From the afternoon of March 21st. He is a much-loved friend and pet. Whole family with young children devastated. Why force me to know this? I've done nothing to them. All that detail, it's unnecessary. I can already see that the dog is a nice dog, and I would prefer if it wasn't lost, but I have never met it, and I don't know where it's gone, and there's nothing I can do. I am powerless in the face of these events. Why make me feel guilty? Beyond that, the levels of sadness involved couldn't possibly need explaining. Of course you don't want your dog to disappear. You feed him and love him and tend to him so that he won't. If he goes, you'll be hurt. I am fully cognizant of that. You can't dispense the full-scale advertisement of household misery, dragging the kids in to make things more grisly, suggesting tears and sleepless nights, or that terrible scene where Mummy or Daddy will be driven to talk with their children and tell them about all the facts of death. Enough. I take it for granted that dogs and mums and dads and children and people who have been children and the whole of the rest of everything will die. And this will frequently be sudden and insupportable and unfair, and in the end, no, at my end, the rest of the pantomime keeps rolling when I stop. At the end of me, I will join them, the mysterious dead. The dog posters keep looking at me right along the street. Down by the crossroads, he's there too, unwittingly mournful in 4 directions. I find it impossible not to feel his household waiting somewhere close, planning further strategies. Like anyone else, they'll want to believe that effort is always rewarded. I'd be the same, because it should. Lots of dogs at the park. They come and sit beside you when they're tired. They lean against you as if 2 different species could communicate and be friends. It's a nice feeling. Had it. Owned a dog when I was young. Don't want to focus on that now, but naturally I am tempted because of those bloody pictures. That bloody family. Fucking bastards. The park should be a distraction, but only if I ignore its generous and varied displays of dogs and loving owners, children and loving parents, arm-in-arm loving couples, hair flaming away in the wind. They say this used to be the shores of a great lake. Thousands of years ago, the waters came right up to this point where I'm standing. But sometime in the last 13,000 years it receded, leaving behind the bones of tiny sea creatures that make up the soil on this hill that used to be where the land dropped off and gave way to water as far as the horizon. Farther. On a clear day, you can still see the water across the tops of the buildings. All these buildings stand on signs of some ancient great upheaval of earth. Glaciers sliding and melting, carving out land that has had a millennia to be smoothed into this gentle decline. The sun has turned unnatural now, a hole punched through to somewhere white, and it's finally sinking for today. I wonder if the dog is home yet. He might be. That could happen, shambling in after frolicking too long in the woods, or jumping from some benefactor's car. We took him in a couple days ago, knew someone would want him back. Such a lovely lad. He could already be spoiled and drowsy with the big welcome and the special meal, and here's a new toy we bought for you just in case. Found. Exactly what we hoped for. Thanks to everyone for your concern. We are so happy now. No problems anywhere. I'd like a Sunday where I see that on every lamppost. A picture of them together in the garden, holding a newspaper with a date. Tangible evidence that everything's okay. I try and doze for a while with the thought of that. It's too early for sleep, but then again I'm tired. Being this tired is tiring, which seems unjust.
Hello?
Hi. You okay?
Yeah, you?
You better.
What time is it?
Not late. She's gone for the week. Left the kids, so I have to mind them. Did I wake you?
No,
Where are you?
watching TV.
Do you want to?
If you want to. Do you want to? I feel like it. Of course I do. I'll just find it.
The one with the woman. Jen. The blonde one. I'm watching her.
That's not Jenny, that's Tracy. Isn't she? I think.
Jenny? Jenny? Tracy? Are you sure you're okay with last night?
Will it happen again?
I don't know.
I was at the park today.
That's nice. Let's try the psychics, shall we?
Sure.
As long as you're alright.
No, I'm not alright.
I know, but as long as it's as good as possible.
Are you alright?
Yes.
I guess not.
Yeah. I guess that too.
Can I see you?
This wouldn't be a good time. Oh, here we go. Someone who's passed is watching over the collar. Well, that's nice. Or creepy. Would you want to be watched over? Dead people looking at you?
Probably not.
And then, fantastic. Look at her. Look at that expression. She knows she's taking the test. In the cards, there will be an older relative who visits hospital. How unexpected is that? And it'll either be serious or not. Or maybe they won't be a patient. Christ.
Yeah, some of them aren't convincing.
People rely on crap like this. They trust it. How lost would you need to be?
I know.
I miss you.
Could you not say that?
But I do miss you.
And I miss you.
That was today.